Coming up on Focal Point.
I've got 3 Division II offers as well right now.
One local high schooler is showing why fourth down isn't the end. It's just the beginning for him.
Yeah, I mean, I really like punting. I'm hoping to play at the Division I level somewhere next year.
Right here by the Red Cedar is where a new group on campus started their rally, but it didn't end here. Coming up on Focal Point, I'll give you more details.
Brody Hall is one of the largest dining halls in the country. Now you can do more than eat there.
Are there consistent negative behaviors in East Lansing? I'll tell you more about that coming up.
Focal Point starts now. Hello and welcome to Focal Point. I'm Asia Lawrence.
And I'm McCoy Scribner.
It has been over a year since Joe Biden became president, but some people are still fighting the results. Locally, at the Michigan State Capitol, election protesters gathered calling for a forensic audit of the election. They believe the election was rigged in favor of Joe Biden. The rally was organized by a group called Election Integrity Fund in Force. The group initially expected 100 attendees, but after former President Donald Trump asked supporters to show up to the rally, roughly 300 to 400 people attended.
To peacefully petition the government that we instituted to protect and defend our Constitution and our way of life and our families and our God.
According to the Secretary of State, over 200 audits have been performed, ensuring a secure election. Michigan is one of the handful of states where Trump supporters continue to demand further review of the results.
When 50,000 students returned to the Michigan State campus this fall, East Lansing businesses boomed again. It also means more people are breaking the law. This is a landmark in East Lansing. The Hamster Cage or Division Street parking garage has been a big orange and blue part of East Lansing since 1988. And right underneath it is something new this year.
What has been occurring has been occurring as part of a larger project we've been implementing to activate our downtown.
The city added artwork and lounge areas here near the entrances to the garage, and they are popular. So popular, people are stealing them.
We'll have signs walk off. We've had, local art from local artists walk off, vandalized, picnic tables, chairs.
So many people love the new East Lansing. Some are committing crimes. Last month, the city took to social media after a group stole a mat from the area. The post quotes, "Negative behaviors including theft and vandalism have continued to be a persistent problem." And it's not just happening in this lounging area. Various spaces across East Lansing are being affected by these incidents.
I'm the Deputy Chief with East Lansing Police.
Steve Gonzalez noticed a spike in these behaviors recently.
Over the course of the last several months, we have seen an increase in vandalism and destruction of property.
And because of it, the city is currently in conversation about different ways to take action.
Those things can range from increased officer patrols to more cameras to unique environmental shifts that may prevent those types of behaviors from occurring.
Gonzalez hopes that those involved recognize that their actions do have an effect.
Their actions, while at 2 o'clock in the morning may not seem like it's going to impact others, it definitely has an impact.
Unattended outside materials are under lock and chain in East Lansing, and security cameras were recently installed downtown to deter those behaviors. The stolen turf has since returned to the lounge area, and no further action will be taken against the individuals.
You go to Brody Hall to eat, you go to Brody Hall for class, and now you can go there for a different reason. Now you can go there to vote. The East Lansing City Clerk's office has opened a new satellite office at Brody Hall. The satellite office makes it easier for students to vote. They don't even have to leave campus. At the new office, East Lansing voters can register to vote, vote early, and turn in voter ballots. Regular hours at the satellite location are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The city clerk's main office is still available for voters at the East Lansing City Hall Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And we also provide not only the paper applications for people to register to vote, but also a QR code to get right on the Secretary of State's website, because at this point, you can still register to vote online. You can request your ballot online. Everything is streamlined through the website at this point. So we're seeing a lot of traffic.
Voters can also visit www.mi.gov/vote to register to vote and check their voter registration status, as well as apply for an absentee vote ballot.
The fight for climate change continues to be a hot topic around the world. This week, groups of students from different organizations banded together to take a stand. Maisha Johnson was at the protest on Sunday where students voiced their concerns, and she joins us now live from the middle of Michigan State's campus. Maisha?
A new MSU group wants scenes like this right here at the Red Cedar to last for generations. They rallied for climate change last Sunday. On the banks of the Red Cedar, this rock is like a billboard. Today it's about planet Earth.
It is an emergency. We have a couple decades, if that even, to turn this around.
Kelly McDonald is passionate about the
Are you going to
environment.
suck Mother Earth dry of everything that she has given you?
She heads a student group called Students for Cooperation.
We're talking about the carbon tax right now.
They painted the rock and they organized this rally in downtown East Lansing. And they told the audience how to get involved.
We need to take control of our food system, and it won't only benefit the environment, it'll benefit our health, it'll benefit our communities, and it'll pave the way to creating a more adjustable and equitable future for all.
State Representative Kara Hope told them to vote.
Republicans can't do what most people want. Their powerful corporate owners won't let them.
MSU professor Robert Wilson told them to do more.
If you want to see a new day dawning in this state and in this country, you have to do a lot more than just showing up for a Sunday morning rally.
And Students for Cooperation said they will continue to dial 911 for the climate.
We are calling you, Mother Earth, for help. And today I have brought us together.
For more information about Students for Cooperation, go to their Instagram at Students for Cooperation. Reporting live here from the banks of the Red Cedar, I'm Aisha J. Back to you guys in the studio.
An effort across the state aims to ensure kids in the city of Detroit have access to musical instruments if they want to play in school band or orchestra. MSU alum and music educator Damian Crutcher is heading up the drive with the Detroit Symphony, or the DSO.
They are partnering with the MSU and the University of Michigan to try and collect 2,500 instruments, culminating on October 30th when the two teams play each other in football.
Focal Point's Reagan Holgate sat down with Damian to discuss the instrument drive and his passion for music education.
Hi, Damian. Thanks for joining us today. Can you just tell us a little bit about Detroit Harmony and what this instrument drive is all about?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Go green. How about that? Well, Detroit Harmony is a DSO initiative that its aim is to build consensus and cooperation across the city of Detroit between the DSO and all the nonprofits, private lesson teachers, public schools, charter schools, church schools, homeschooling kids, to work together to make sure that every student in Detroit has music education in their life. And so the first thing that we're doing obviously is after 8 months of planning is the instrument drive, which actually started on the 1st. It will run through the 31st. And I set a goal of 2,500 instruments.
And where are you at with your goal right now?
Looks like we're at about 250. I'm thinking 250, 300, if our count is right. So we got to push pretty hard to the last day. But the culminating event, of course, is October 30th at the Michigan State game. And both marching bands are helping us rally the troops. You know, I went to both schools and I was a part of both marching bands. So they have agreed to help us. So we will be there on the 30th, a few hours before the game and an hour after the game. If folks want to folks want to come and just drop off instruments to us, they could do that, or they could drop them off at Meridian Winds and Okemos, or maybe even at the School of Music. We're still working that out.
And I can see the passion in your face when you talk about music and when you talk about these instruments and these kids. What brought you to be such a strong advocate for this?
I know that for me growing up in Detroit, music education allowed me to do a lot of things. First of all, there's nothing like getting an instrument for the first time, taking it out the case, being in a class, making the sound, working in band or orchestra. And I know that, I started playing French horn in high school, and then that opened the door to Interlochen and Michigan State and Michigan. I've had some wonderful life experiences. I want to make sure that all 120,000 plus school-aged Detroit kids have the same possibility.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and we're so excited to have you on the show, and we're also so excited that you're going to be up here in East Lansing in a few weeks. Thank you so much, Damien.
Yeah, thank you for having me. If folks want more information, they can go to www.dso.org/Detroit Harmony. And also at that site, there are tons of drop-off sites across the state as well. If they want to just get it out the way before the game, they can drop it off in a lot of places. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
There are several drop-off sites across the state. If you have an instrument you would like to donate, visit dso.org/Detroit Harmony for locations and more information. And next week, we will follow up with Damien to update us on his progress as they head into the final couple of weeks of the drive. To see the full interview, check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter at Focal Point MSU.
Coming up, it is, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll show you how a walk around the Capitol helps in the fight against cancer.
And in entertainment, Michael Myers makes his way back to the big screen in time for spooky season.
And I'm Molly Gentry, and you're looking at a live shot in downtown Lansing where it looks a little cloudy. When we come back, we'll look at the week ahead as we move into some warmer temperatures. Stay with us.
Hasn't been the same since COVID. We all know that. The pandemic has affected each of our lives differently. Some have lost loved ones, some have lost their jobs. Some have lost out on important milestones like graduation. Some really adds up to most. Most of us have been affected in some way with this pandemic. Stop the spread and mask up.
Mask up so I can travel. Mask up so I can go to tailgates. Mask up so I can go to concerts.
Mask up so I can see my family.
Mask up so we can live again.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month with local events scheduled all month long.
The American Cancer Society put on their annual walk last weekend. Chandra Hemming is live in the newsroom with that story. Chandra?
That's right, McCoy. The annual Making Strides for Breast Cancer Walk is back in person after being virtual last year. Hundreds came out to the state capitol on Saturday to honor breast cancer survivors and supporters and to raise money for breast cancer research. Participants could either walk 1 mile around the Capitol or choose a 5K option. The event is put on by the American Cancer Society. Organizers and volunteers hope the walk helps bring awareness to the disease that affects 1 in 8 women.
Year in a row participating with ACS Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. It's a cause near to my heart. I don't actually know anybody who's been affected, but I have 2 daughters, and I pray.
As of today, they've raised close to $50,000 of their $75 goal. To learn more how about you can get involved or make a donation, check out their website at bit.ly/makingstrideslansing. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Chandra Fleming. Asia, back to you.
Thank you, Chandra. The weather has been very nice this week with temperatures up to almost 80 degrees.
But is it time to bring out the raincoats this weekend? Molly Gundry is live at the weather wall with a look at this week's weather. Molly, will we continue to see warmer weather into next week?
Well, McCoy, it's not going to be 80s like we saw this week, but it's still going to be pretty nice. Let's take a look. Although we're not having 80s, there are some around the country. We have 87 in Los Angeles and 80 in Sacramento. And if we take a look down to the south, we see 88 in New Orleans, 85 in Miami, 84 in Atlanta, and 84 in Charleston as well. And if we take a closer look to the Midwest, we'll see that it is 64 in Chicago. We have 80 in Pittsburgh, 81 in Charleston, and 71 in Indianapolis. Closer to us, we have 61 in Grand Rapids and 62 in Detroit. If we want to take a look at our current conditions, we'll see that it is currently raining in East Lansing with a 61. So if you are going to that IZone camp out tonight, you might want to bring a rain jacket. It's going to be 62 in Grand Rapids with a 24% chance of rain. Mount Pleasant is looking a little better with partly cloudy and 60. And in Detroit, it's also looking a little rainy with 62 and a 52% chance of rain. And if we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we'll see that it's rainy obviously today with 61 with a low of 47. Saturday, it's dropping down to 55 with a low of 43. Sunday, it's starting on the rise with a 62 and a low of 41. And then we see on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's really getting up there with 66, 69, and 68. And then on Thursday, we're seeing a little bit more of rain. So we're not quite ready for heavy winter jackets just yet, and hopefully it will hold off for the winter break, the fall break next weekend. McCoy?
Thank you, Molly. 70,000 Michigan residents may soon get their licenses back. New reform measures put in place by Governor Gretchen Whitmer resulted in mass license suspensions for a number of traffic violations, ranging from unpaid tickets to civil violations. The Michigan Joint Task Force for Jail and Pretrial Incarcerations requested this change among other ideas. 11th District State Representative Jeremy Moss agrees that this is a good start to improving Michigan's justice system.
What is the intention of our criminal justice system? If it's just supposed to punish, you know, we have that system here in the state of Michigan. But if people make a mistake and they commit a crime and they accept responsibility or are sentenced to accept responsibility and they pay their debt off to society, whether it's a fine, whether it's incarceration, we got to figure out, what are we doing with them next? What do we want from them next?
The task force was assembled by Governor Whitmer in an effort to enforce safe driving. If you're looking to get your license back, you can call the Michigan Secretary of State or visit their website at www.michigan.gov/SOS.
You might not guess that a gravestone would make national headlines, but here in Okemos, it did. An Okemos gravestone was missing for nearly 150 years until it was discovered on an estate auction site by a former Lansing resident. The marble slab was used in a local Okemos home to make a familiar sweet treat, fudge. After the auctioneer realized it was a gravestone, he donated it to the Friends of the Lansing Historical Cemeteries to have it restored.
We have experience with restoring and resetting monuments in this cemetery in particular. When we learned that there was a monument out there that belonged on a grave, then we wanted, of course, to see what we could do to put it where it belonged.
There are still quite a few questions we have, but stay tuned for next week as Focal Point's Reagan Holgate brings us more on the story. John Carpenter is best known for his fictional character, Michael Myers, was first introduced in 1978 Halloween slasher films.
And now he's scaring his way back to the big screens just in time for the Halloween season. Focal Point's Isabella Martin is at the entertainment desk for this spine-chilling report. Isabella?
Yes, McCoy, this week we are starting spooky season off right with a scary movie. Halloween Kills came out in theaters today, making it the 12th film in the Halloween series.
My grandmother was right. The boogeyman was real.
Jamie Lee Curtis is back, and so is her friend, Michael Myers. Curtis starred in the very first Halloween 43 years ago. She returned in 2018 and just can't seem to get enough. Returning now in Halloween Kills. And all of the characters are back. Michael Myers is alive and ready to create more chaos in Haddonfield, Illinois.
It's over. We can't hurt anyone ever again.
Or until the next movie, which they are working on right now. If Halloween Kills didn't thrill you enough, Netflix has the show for you. Squid Games, a new series that premiered on Netflix last month, looks at contestants who play deadly children's games to win a cash prize. And speaking of prizes, this series has become the most watched Netflix original show in its history. 111 million accounts have seen it. A different kind of thrill began recently when a Russian film crew began filming the first movie shot in space.
After that, just as you trained for, you'll be fine.
The movie will focus on Russia's accomplishments in space and will be called Challenge. Speaking of space, William Shatner, TV's Captain Kirk, became the oldest person to travel to space on Wednesday. Courtesy of Jeff Bezos and his rocket Blue Origin, the journey lasted a whole 10 minutes. News this week revealed that Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio will play Michigan State astronomy professors in a new movie called Don't Look Up.
Dr. Mindy is a tenured professor of astronomy at Michigan State.
I'm sorry, did you say Michigan State?
Exactly. They have an excellent astronomy department.
You say so.
Don't Look Up will be in select theaters on December 10th and Netflix on December 24th. And oddly enough, there's been no comment from the University of Michigan yet on how they feel about this. That's what's happening in entertainment this week. I'm Isabella Martin. Asia, will you be checking out any of these new movies?
Well, I actually am a huge scary movie fan, so I will definitely be checking out that Michael Myers movie. Thank you, Isabella.
Well, coming up, forked out might not be a bad thing for one local high schooler.
And the 6-0 Spartans head to Indiana to take on the Hoosiers this weekend. Hunter Gadwell has your sports update after the break.
Everywhere in our daily life. Though they solve a lot of problems, an over-reliance on them has serious consequences. Potentially because we've become so addicted to plastic, we have a problem with sustainability and pollution related to plastics. In our lab here at MSU, our vision is to produce environmentally friendly plastics using sustainable resources and a much smaller footprint.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Hunter Gadwell with the latest in sports. The MSU football team spent the last 2 weeks winning night games at home. On Saturday, they had a road test at Rutgers. We start in the second quarter with the Spartans trailing 10-7. Peyton Thorne drops back and throws to his right. Deep down the field, he's got Jalen Naylor. They call him Speedy Naylor for a reason. He turns on the Jets and bursts into the end zone to put MSU ahead 14-10. Second half now, MSU up 21-13. Spartans deep in their own territory, but Kenneth Walker has something to say about that. He breaks free of the pack, breaks some tackles, and puts on the jukes to clear his way for the TD. He dabs up Naylor on his way to the end zone, putting MSU out of reach. On a record-breaking day, Matt Coughlin breaks one too, setting the MSU school record with his 72nd career field goal in the green and white. MSU wins 31-13. Coach Tucker looks ahead now to Indiana.
Indiana's coming off a bye. They have played a very tough schedule, so they'll be rest, they'll be ready. They'll be at their very best, and we have to be at our best as well.
MSU is on the road again this week with a matchup at Indiana. Kickoff is tomorrow at noon. The Spartan hockey team opened their season with a 2-game set against Air Force. Let's go to Friday night highlights. Mon Ice Arena welcomed back the Spartans and their fans to the second period. With the score knotted at 1, Nate Horn sneaks the puck past Drew DeRitter to put the Falcons ahead. But only a couple minutes later, Mitchell Lewandowski goes top shelf on the scrambling Falcons goalie. But wait a minute, it's waved off. After a review, the goal is good and the Spartans tied the game at 2. And that's where it stayed for the rest of regulation. Overtime hockey now, 3-on-3, and it's Willie Ryan for the Falcons who fires it in for the win, spoiling MSU's return to play. The Spartans lose this game 2-3, but bounce back on Saturday to beat the Falcons 5-1, splitting the series.
Objective-wise, we hit a decent amount on Friday night, and our meeting on Saturday morning was that's good. We hit enough of these objectives that give ourselves a chance to win, and but we didn't give ourselves the best chance to win.
The team is back in action this weekend. The first of 2 games is tonight against Miami of Ohio. Volleyball also had a pair of matches this week. They played number 8 Minnesota and number 7 Ohio State. MSU came into the match at 8-5, looking to pick up a win after falling to Nebraska. We start with Friday's match against Ohio State. Second set, OSU serving, and it's Sarah Franklin with a kill for the Spartans. She had herself a day, finishing the match with 10 of her own. Later in the set, Cecily Max Brown knocks in a kill, giving MSU an 8-4 lead. She would also finish with 10. However, the Buckeyes were a bit too much to handle, as they would end up taking all 3 sets from the Spartans.
I see growth in our team no matter what, but as we look at our schedule, it's a little daunting in that we have five out of 6 of our matches in a row are in the top 10 in the nation.
MSU also lost their Saturday matchup with Minnesota, this time in 4 sets. They play twice at home this week, Friday against Wisconsin and Saturday versus Maryland. Women's soccer is starting to get some attention from the rest of the country as they continue to win. They played Ohio State at home on Sunday. The Spartans entered Sunday's contest looking to continue their strong season after a win against Iowa last week. Stout defense and elite goalkeeping were on full display from both squads at DeMartin Stadium, keeping the match scoreless until late in the second half. With just over 7 minutes left to go, Lauren DeBow finally broke the stalemate by cutting through the defense and striking it in to put the Spartans up 1-0. The best look all game for Ohio State came in the 87th minute as the Buckeyes had a chance to tie it here with a penalty kick. But Lauren Colzo comes up big with a diving save to secure the 3 points for the Spartans.
Obviously not the call we wanted late in the game, but had to deal with it, had to get my mindset right and preparation for that shot. So a lot of things in my head right now, but it was a huge win for us today.
Colzo was named the Big Ten Women's Soccer Goalkeeper of the Week on Tuesday for the 2nd time this season. Her 4 saves helped MSU get to a 9-1-3 overall record and a 4-1-1 mark in Big Ten play. You'll get a kick out of this next story. You don't see their names in the headlines often, but punters are people too. East Lansing High School's punter is one of the best in the country, but the story behind his practice and progress is a bit of a twist. Focal Point's Ian Gilmore shows us how Evan Sunderman puts his best foot forward.
When East Lansing gets to 4th down, they rely on Evan Sunderman.
There we go. I get in and I see the returners like 30 yards deep, and I know I can hit it way farther than that.
He plays wide receiver, but his foot is what's getting attention these days.
I've got 3 Division II offers as well right now.
He's a 5-star punting recruit. 2 weeks ago, he boomed a 65-yarder.
I mean, that was a great feeling.
He got his start watching YouTube videos. Now he's the top high school punter in Michigan.
Basically right now, like if I catch it like this, I'm just gonna turn to get the laces up.
It takes a lot of practice, and it takes a special person to cheer him on. Out on the practice field with him today, his mom, Tanya.
I mean, I'm always shagging punts and, snapping to him and stuff.
This is not a new thing for them. Tanya helps out Evan just about any time and anywhere.
It's not bad.
Every place we go, we got to find a field that's open, and he wants to go out and practice.
Even when they were on vacation in the Upper Peninsula last year, Tanya and Evan found a place to practice.
And we found this football field at like the Munising High School or whatever, and the wind, you get the Lake Superior wind and stuff.
It helps Evan.
Like those moments when it's just the 2 of us, and there's not real high stakes, and I feel like I'm kind of helping him a little bit, are probably some of my favorite moments.
But it helps Tanya too.
Good hit.
She lost her dad, Evan's grandpa, last October. Watching Evan play was his favorite thing to do.
He was always clapping the loudest and always yelling the loudest, and so, yeah, it's been a little bit emotional feeling like he's been gone.
Playing Division I is a goal for Evan, and it's still his grandpa's dream.
When he does go to the next level and be able to play, that was something my dad always talked about, like how cool that would be to be able to watch him. So, yeah, but I'm sure he's making Grandpa proud.
Making Grandpa proud.
Oh.
1 kick at a time.
Right at the 2. There we go.
In East Lansing. I'm Ian Gilmore. Focal Point News.
And that relationship with his mom and grandfather may be just as valuable as any Division I offers. We'll certainly be following his path. But for now, that's what's happening in sports. I'm Hunter Gadwell. Asia, back to you.
And finally, the Izzo Legacy 5K run was back on campus after a virtual event in 2020. The run made its return to campus with a large crowd of more than 3,400 participating to support the Izzo Legacy Family Fund. Participants were greeted by Tom Izzo and the basketball team, and they also got to take a post-run victory lap around Spartan Stadium. The 5K raised $250,000 for the fund to support local MSU and Mid-Michigan communities through charity work. If you're still looking to contribute to the charity and you missed a run, you can go to izzolegacy.com.
I've always heard about the Izzo 5K, and I think next year might be the year that I finally join.
And I will be sure to be there supporting you from the sidelines. And with that, that ends our show for today. I'm Asia Lawrence.
And I'm McCoy Scribner. We leave you with the sounds of the Spartan Marching Band and a halftime preview for the game against the University of Michigan on October 30th.